Yes.
Okay, with Sherill Quinn, When Fighting Monsters is the short film. It's 18 minutes long. It is from the Crime Mystery Festival. You are the director, you are the writer, and you're also in the film as well. You're also one of the actors.
Yes.
Did you write this for so you can act in it, or is that your kind of original trade?
Yes, I had written it actually as a scene, and then after a while, it just sort of took legs of its own and became a whole story. But yes, I wrote it with myself in mind as one of the characters.
And this is your first film that you directed.
Yes, it's the first film I've written and directed. I've helped produce some films, but this is the first film that was all me
So how
directing.
did that like? So you wrote it as a scene? Is that like for like a class or something like that, or like why did you write the scene?
I wanted to shoot it as a real piece originally.
Okay. And then what happened? You just kind of expanded it to like a cohesive short film.
Yes, I wrote it and then I just sat on it for probably a year, a little over a year, didn't touch it. And then, but it was in the back of my mind the whole time. And then it's the story just sort of manifested.
And so what? How did like the idea to kind of turn into a short film come about?
I started writing it again. I picked it up and I thought, what if I just finished this? And I became obsessed over the span of a few days. I just couldn't put it down. I couldn't stop thinking about it and writing. And then once I was finished, I just thought, well, if I don't make this into something now, I'm never going to do anything with it. So I reached out to a producer friend of mine and he agreed to help me with it. And within a few months, we shot it.
That's amazing. So was it daunting to like kind of act and kind of direct in the short film?
Yes, it was the scariest thing I've ever done.
You pulled
It
it
was,
off though.
sorry?
You pulled it off though. You got it
Thank
done.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks to many other people who knew a lot more about what they were doing.
So you talked to your producer friend, then I guess what was the next step? Kind of like rounding up locations, the cinematographer, the other actors. What was like the progress?
Yes, so once he was on board, he started looking at locations and creating spreadsheets. He reached out to a lot of his crew that he likes to work with. He brought on our assistant director, pretty much all the crew, the script supervisor, our boom operator and sound designer. And then I brought on my friend Leo Mooring, who's the director of photography in the film. And I knew before I talked to anyone else that he was going to shoot it because I've known him for a long time and I know he's amazing.
So the concept itself is like a detective, and then her daughter dies, and so where did this how did this come about? Like how did this idea come spawn for you?
Like I said, it started as an idea. I had this image of a father and daughter on a bridge at night. I've always loved bridges, I realized, because they're neither here nor there. Um, And I love murder mysteries. I love psychological thrillers. That's sort of my genre that I'm always drawn to. But I think the, well, the theme of the story is grief
Yeah.
and just what would drive someone to do things they wouldn't normally do. And how do we all deal with grief? Everyone deals with grief differently, but I think, well, the emotion is the same for everyone. It's just a matter of how you respond to it. And his
Yeah,
response
and
is what it
but
is.
there's something even deeper where someone's like daughter or son dies, because it's like in the chain of events in life, your kids are not supposed to die before you, right? So I don't that could be that must be the most unimaginable grief there is, one would assume.
I think it must be, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about it, right? So it's like, yeah, so that's sort of like that's sort of an extra layer, and then plus they're detective, right? So they're trying to use their skills
Hmm.
what they're good at, supposedly, like to their advantage, right? To figure out something out, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's his job to catch the
Yeah.
bad guys and to protect people.
Do you have any experience, like, kind of talking to detectives or in the police force? I'm just curious.
Yes, I have talked to someone who worked, a few people who worked in the police force. It was actually after I wrote my script, so I
Yeah.
wasn't able to apply it, but next time.
Well, no, but at least like they're like you're adding realism to it, meaning that like they're checking off what is real, what is not real. I'm assuming, right? So,
Yeah, definitely. I definitely asked some advice when it came to editing and trying to make things as realistic as possible.
so where did you find your lead actor?
My lead actor, Thomas Kilkenny, I've known him for years. We briefly went to the same acting class, and I remember I really wanted to do a scene with him then. He just has this presence.
He does, yeah,
Yeah, and I had worked on a scene with him in class years and years ago. And it was really cool because he had so much experience and I was just starting out as an actor. And he has this way of teaching you while you're working on a scene together. And I've just always looked up to him. I've always had so much respect for his craft, and I knew I wanted to work with him. So when I had him audition for this role, he knocked it out the park. He pretty much did what I thought he would do.
yeah.
And yeah, I just knew that he was the best person for the job
But you
for
still
this
had him
role.
audition, though. You wanted him to audition.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I was told always have everyone audition no matter what because you never know, someone could surprise you
yeah,
or yeah, God forbid something happens and you need to recast, then you've at least seen other people audition
yeah.
too and you have an idea of who else you would cast. And casting's hard, even if you know who you'd like to cast, there was so many wonderful auditions, and it was hard to choose one and then to tell everyone else
Yeah.
we didn't.
Well, as an actor, how did that feel? I'm sure you've been on many auditions yourself, right?
Oh, I've been rejected many, many times.
I
That
don't,
is
I
not
do know
fun to
it's,
have to tell
but at the
people.
same time, I don't want. I don't like that word. I'm not trying to be like
No.
a flake or anything, but meaning that like as an actor, you know that there's so many variables why someone gets casted and doesn't get casted, right?
So many, and I
Yeah.
learned a lot too from the
So
process of
rejection is a hard word because it's like you're not really getting you. It's just like it's just not really working out. But then it's almost like a networking opportunity too, right? Because you're meeting other people, right? And then they remember you. If you're not Cheryl's not right for that role, then she could be right for the role later on, right? So
right, book the
yeah,
room, not the audition, for
yeah.
sure. Hmm.
Well, I guess that's what they say, right? So yeah, but no, but it's like but how did it feel to be on the other side in the audition process on the
It
producer side?
it was really cool. It was really empowering. It was really surreal to watch people take things that I had written and bring them to life. And it was so interesting to see how everyone had their own style and their own way of doing it and brought their own voice to the words. And that was really cool. It made me want to write more because I thought, oh, I want to cast all of you. I want to work
Yeah.
with all of you. Mhm.
So you mentioned the bridge scene, nice little lighting silhouette, him memorying. Where was that scene? Where was that shot? I'm just curious.
Yeah, it was shot on this footbridge in Petaluma. And we had actually been looking at this other bridge because there's a few bridges in Petaluma. It's just
Where's
north of the Bay Area
Petaluma?
here.
People don't know.
What's that?
Where's Petaluma? People don't know.
Oh, it's this beautiful little town north of the Bay Area. It's probably an hour drive from San Francisco
Okay.
and Oakland. Yeah, it's a gorgeous town. Um, yeah, they have all these little footbridges because there's this big river that runs through it. And we found one that was sort of off the beaten path. So you can see us from the road. It was really dark and kind of spooky looking already before we set it up.
Yeah, and that's sort of where he's kind of like the bridge is kind of like a gray area, right? Like you said, there's like you're kind of in the middle of two separate paths, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good. It's a good metaphor.
Yeah, yeah. And I thought of that afterwards because yeah, there's bridges, stairs, airplanes, they're all neither here nor there. And so it's sort of this quiet time that you're alone with your thoughts. And then also when I was working on the scene with Tom, we endowed it with a lot of memories and we thought, that's the bridge we walked over a lot when I was growing up. My
Oh,
character.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
When
And
my character was growing up, not me. I
yeah,
didn't
okay,
grow
yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah,
up.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
you're playing the daughter, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So you're in flashbacks,
Yes.
and then obviously that the relationship wasn't perfect between the father and the daughter.
No, no, and I don't wanted it to be relatable to people because I don't think any long-term relationship is perfect. There's always going to be cracks and maybe unspoken resentments, as well as love and as well as great memories. There's always both, and that's what makes any relationship real.
So you had some pretty intense scenes, like yourself, like you as an actress in the film. How was it performing those scenes, but also directing at the same time?
Scary. Well, that's one thing though, because we saved all of my scenes for the last day. So at least I directed the rest of the film. And then my assistant director, Mandy Miller, who's just a boss, she took care of all of the logistics. She was made sure that we finished on time every day. She made sure everything happened the way it was supposed to. And so the last day when we shot my scenes, I gave the reins to her and I just let go. And it helped that we'd worked together for 4 days before that, so I completely trusted her and she knew what we were going for.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
That's interesting. Yeah, because your scenes are definitely needed, of course, right? Like they're like there's an intensity to your scenes, right? So like complexity to the it all kind of matches up to what he's thinking, right? So in his head.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wanted to keep it open to maybe some of the things Trina says are
Yeah,
in his head because maybe she wasn't actually like that in real life. Maybe she wasn't angry with him or
yeah,
maybe she was, so there's this element of guilt and the way he remembers her.
yeah. No, that's a lot of truth because it's his perspective, right? Everything's from
Right.
him. There's something about his the way you shot him, like the stillness, and it's a very still film,
Hmm.
and he's got this bald head, and it's like, and it's all about what's in his head, and he can't like get let go. He can't let go of this, like you said, grief, I guess, right? And it's like
Right.
everything's kind of stirring around, and everything he's doing is about that. And it's like there's something interesting about his close-ups because you can feel it. You can feel his head vibrating when in the shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can totally see that. Yeah.
Yeah, because he just can't get out of it, right? He can't get out. Like he can't. He can never let it go, right?
It's always there.
Yeah,
It's a it's like a constant water dripping. It's always there in the back of his
yeah. It's a
head,
good way to
but he
put it.
doesn't
Yeah,
see it.
yeah.
Hmm.
And it's also too where like you like there's like a it's the human condition where like you think you can if you can solve something or even like it's like I know it's not like a revenge plot, but basically like it's sort of in the same lines where if you think you can just kind of like come to a conclusion of something, that's gonna solve everything. Your grief is gonna go away, but it's not, right? It's just it,
Right.
yeah,
But then what else does he have?
yeah.
So,
He's just gonna end up where he is, no matter what. So, but I guess
mm.
it saves him. It gives him something to do, I guess, in a sense.
It gives him hope.
Yeah, no, you know what I mean. It's like idealistic hope, right? Though that's all I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's something I wanted to stress too is he is a good person. He's
yeah,
a good guy in crisis.
yeah, totally.
Hmm.
And if this was done, I'm assuming like, have you thought about like this expanding to a feature or?
Not really, no. The idea has been floated, but I think if I made it into a feature, it would be something I come back to because I told the story I wanted to tell and I'm happy with it. So now I'd like to go tell a different story.
Yeah,
But
that makes
who
sense.
knows?
Yeah,
Maybe I'll come back to it years later and make it into a feature. I think I could focus a lot more on backstory and character development if I made it into a feature.
yeah. Or even even the mom or the wife, I guess, right? So
Right, because there was so much I had to fit into that 18 minutes. And
yeah,
so, yeah, there were definitely things I could expand on more.
yeah. It's just interesting stuff. Like I like how he's like in his basement and he's just like kind of almost like a vigilante, right? Like just kind of like plotting and kind of putting it all together, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
good. So what? So how is like? So talked about like you're based in Oakland, right?
Yes. Mhm.
How is the film scene in Oakland? Like, is there like an independent film scene?
It's mostly an independent film scene. We have some commercial stuff too, but it's mostly commercial. There are filmmakers now bringing more of the bigger film market, say Boots Riley, Ryan Coogler, obviously, they're
Well,
based
that's where he
here.
started, right? Kugler started there, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Fruitvale Station, right? So
Yeah. So Oakland is just this beautiful sort of breeding ground for so many great ideas, so much art. And a lot of people do start out just making their own things here. And it's a great place to do it because people are excited to work on stuff and they're excited to bring themselves to it. So I love being here and it made making my film a lot easier than say if I was in LA or New York or
yeah.
Atlanta. It might be harder to get people to want to work on a small project like this.
So you're there. You're there to stay, I guess, in Oakland.
I love it here. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. You lost your baseball team. I'm sorry about that.
Eh, yeah.
I guess everybody reacts to it differently, right? So, but
Yeah, I'm not much of a sports person.
no, I know. I figured as much when my son was like, I can't believe that they lost that team. It's like that's the world I live in. He's like a big baseball fan, so it's like, how could they lose that team? It's like it seems like such a great place, but yeah,
Eh, well.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so basically, it's all about community. It's like it's about kind of bringing the community together, right? So you kind of want that to be in Oakland, I guess, right? So
Yeah, it's all about community.
yeah, because you're like because you got San Francisco hanging over you, right? Like you want to be your own identity.
Yeah, yeah, Oakland and San Francisco are like siblings with totally different tastes and styles.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, so what's next for you? What are you gonna do next?
Next, I'm actually slated to direct someone else's short film. Chris Marceau, who played Detective Stinson in my film, he wrote a short film. It's another psychological thriller, and I'm slated to direct that. We're still very much in pre-production, but that's the next thing I plan to direct, and I'm really excited about it.
That's amazing. So you're gonna keep directing that, obviously, right?
Yeah, and acting too. But yes, I definitely really enjoyed directing as well and storytelling and having creative license. It's really fun to be on camera and I love acting, but it's also cool to take the reins and have more control over the whole story.
Well, well, speaking of that, how did you like the post production process?
I mean, I didn't really, because I edited the film too, so. It was a lot of pressure because I realized, oh, I have to do this now before in pre-production and in production. Obviously, everybody's all hands on deck.
Yeah.
Everyone's working on it, but in post-production, it's just me. And so, yeah, I could have probably hired an editor, but at the same time, I know how to edit and I knew what I wanted, so it almost
Yeah.
would have been more work to tell someone else what I wanted and then go back and forth. So it took a while to edit and it was very intimidating at first, but it was also fun once I'd get into a flow, almost like the writing process. Once you get in a flow, then
Yeah.
suddenly, oh, okay, this makes sense and this is working and
But you see, that's how the film. That's how, like, even from an acting perspective, it's like you can see you can kind of tweak the performances and kind of tweak the emotions and like it's like it must be interesting for an actor like to kind of like work on that kind of in the post production, how you could just kind of like change a frame and then the performance delivery is like completely different in context to the scene before, etc. Right? So
right, exactly.
yeah,
And Tom, he gave me a lot of options because every time he would perform a scene or say his lines, he would do it differently. So I
yeah,
had a lot of options on where I could go with a scene, which was fun. It was fun to
yeah.
play with.
Well, that's a dream, right? Like, that's what you want, right? As an editor.
Yeah,
Well, what about the sound though? Who did the sound?
the sound, that was Eli Torres, or yeah, Elias Torres.
Yeah,
He was our boom operator, our sound recordist, and he also edited the sound for the final film.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's a great sound design. It's needed in your film because, like I said, it's a very still film. It's a very like subtle, like kind of creepy film. It's like you need that kind of key sound design to kind of bring the emotion, not at a
yeah,
manipulative
definitely.
level, but at a very, you know what I mean, at the tone of what you're looking for. So
Yeah, the subtle level. Yeah, it was the bar scene was especially fun for him to work on, I think, because it was just so many different sounds going on.
yeah,
And yeah, and then yeah, Spencer Keane was our composer and he just knocked it out the park. I was looking at different composers and then he was I knew right away that he was the person I really wanted to compose this film because his style is so I don't know what the word is like. It just really packs a punch. And so anyway, I told him I made a temp score that was just, hey, this is the general idea I want to go with for the film. But
yeah,
also I want you to bring your own style and make it yours. I want this to be a Spencer Keane composition. And he did. He just within a couple of weeks, I think, he just put the whole score together and it was really powerful.
yeah. Well, I guess you got. It seems like you had a pretty good team of people,
Yeah, yeah, I'm very grateful for that.
and now you got the first one under your belt, and now the second one is like I always call say the second one's the toughest one.
Oh, no, don't tell me that.
No, it's good. You trust me. You're good under pressure. You'll be fine. That's sort of my perspective, meaning that like the first one, it's like it's almost like ignorance is bliss in a good way. Like it's like you got people helping you out, and then now you have context, right? So now it's like, what can
Right,
you do? What can you do with context? What can you do with like with the information that you've already gathered, right? It's like being
right.
humble. It's like being humble, right? Not being too confident. It's all about balance.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm sure there will be learning curves with the second one, but I'll be coming in with a lot more information and a lot more experience than on
Yeah.
the first one.
Yeah, but I guess it seemed like a great produced film because like just from like I said, the sound designer, like really great, nice cinematography, like the
Hmm.
acting is outstanding, right? Like and then everything looks great, real. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
just a well done. Like these films are hard to do because there's too much from a short film perspective because there's so much context, there's so much people know these films, right? The detective story, we've seen this before, the feature with the $100 million budget or on television, right? So kind of
Hmm.
like making it real on in the short medium with a limited budget is not easy, plus the plotting, right? It's not easy to do. It's like so most of them don't work. I'm telling you where I sit. Most of them are not, they don't work for various reasons. But yours work, and it's not an easy film to do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think it can be kind of daunting to realize that there's no story that hasn't been told, but at the same time, when you bring your own voice to it, nobody can tell the story the way you do.
Yeah,
It's Yeah, and I give huge shout out to Morgan Hamilton Lee, my producer, because he was the one who agreed to do it, and then the next day he's looking at locations. I was not expecting it to happen so fast, and he brought on 99% of the crew that made it happen.
So he seems to be like a good guy. Like he must have believed in you.
Yeah, and it was really cool because I just like I said, I reached out to him. He said he was interested in working on it, and he created the momentum. He brought everyone together to work on it. He gave me a lot of advice from his experience because he's one of those people who is just constantly working on something. But he also gave me the creative freedom to do what I wanted to do. He never said, "Oh, I don't know if you should do that." He gave me all the control when it came to the artistic directing side, and that was really cool. I think it's rare for someone to take the reins, take ownership of the project, but also give you all the ownership over your story.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Well, hopefully, is he directing? Is he producing your next film?
Probably. I haven't asked him
Okay.
yet. There's a good chance.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Well, congratulations on the film itself. Like I said, it looks like it's getting some awards at festivals. You got a nice. I like your websites. You got Instagram pages, so you know what you're doing, and just keep at it, and just keep plugging away. You got some talent. So, and I like that you made a film. The last point, I like that you made a film that you acted in it, but you're not the star. I don't know, for some reason it's like you're very just a minor character. You're kind of like you said, you're like the imagination of the main character, right? So your role. So it's like you didn't have the ego where like, okay, I'm going to be the star of the film as well. You just like you serve the story, basically what I'm saying.
Thank you. Yeah, I probably would have had a meltdown if I tried to also be the lead.
Yeah. Well, all right. I can't wait to see your next film, and good luck with it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been wonderful talking to you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.